They can't feel comfortable around you. Not because of who you are, but because of who they are not. Deep down, they know they can't make you happy. They know they can't meet your needs. So they provoke you, gaslight you, and cause drama, then blame you. They flip the script, make you think you're the problem, that you're not enough for them. But it's all projection. They feel unworthy around you. They feel like a failure. So to cope with those feelings, they attack the very person making them feel that way. You. They don't see you as relationship material. They don't see you as someone to build a life with. You're just a placeholder, a stage prop for their performance, a tool for their ego. They knew from the start they could never truly offer you anything. They just hoped you wouldn't notice. And when the cracks start to show, when you start asking for accountability, respect, emotional maturity, they get nasty, because now they feel exposed. They know they were never good enough, and instead of dealing with that truth, they try to break you down, confuse you, make you question your worth, so that you never have the strength to walk away. It's not normal to feel constantly anxious, depressed, or confused in a relationship. Love isn't supposed to feel like punishment. But narcissists are not fit for love. They don't seek relationships to give. They seek them to take. It's always about their needs, their feelings, their image. They drain you until there's nothing left. Emotionally, mentally, and financially. That's why you need a grey rock, emotionally detached. Gradually pull back your investment, because they will bleed you dry, then blame you for being empty. And now, let's talk about intimacy, because this is where it gets even more damaging. At first, the intimacy may have felt electric, passionate, addictive, but over time it changes. You may notice things start to shift. You lose your libido. You can't perform. You feel shut down, disconnected from your own body. And here's the worst part, they will blame you for that too. If you struggle with arousal, if you can't get hard, or if you feel dry, they will shame you, mock you, make you feel like something is wrong with you. But here's the truth. Your body is protecting you. Your subconscious knows what your conscious mind hasn't accepted yet, that this person is unsafe. Your body doesn't want to be intimate with someone who's harming you. That's not dysfunction, that's survival. Dissociation during sex, erectile dysfunction, loss of desire, these are all trauma responses. Because real intimacy can't exist in a space filled with manipulation, anxiety, and emotional violence. What you're experiencing isn't love, it's trauma bonding. A toxic cocktail of adrenaline, dopamine, and fear. They hurt you, then love bomb you, withdraw, then come back. They condition you to associate love with pain. So even when things are bad, you stay. You keep trying to fix it, make it right. But you can't make it right with someone who never wanted it to be right. They don't want real connection. They want control. They come back because they need you, not because they love you. They need someone to drain, someone to reflect back their false self, but they'll never admit it. They'd rather destroy you than admit you were the best thing they ever had. And even when they mock you, belittle you, laugh at your pain, it's not because they don't see your value. It's because they do. And that terrifies them. They think you're stupid for staying because deep down they know you deserve better. Healthy people don't do this. In a healthy relationship, things feel warm, loving, safe. There's communication, laughter, joy. Your intimacy thrives. You grow together. You feel seen. You shouldn't have to dim your light to keep someone else from feeling insecure. You shouldn't have to earn love that's never been offered. It's time to stop shrinking yourself to fit into a toxic relationship. They were never on your level. They knew it. That's why they had to bring you down. But it ends now. You are not here to be drained. You are not here to be manipulated. You are not here to be made small. You are here to shine, to love and be loved, in peace, in truth. So walk away, heal, reclaim your body, your mind, and your soul, and never look back. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like the video, drop a comment. I read every one. Share it with someone who needs to hear this, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. If you're recovering from narcissistic abuse and want personal guidance, I offer one-on-one coaching for survivors just like you. The link is in the description. And if you'd like to support this work, donations are always appreciated. They help keep this channel going and reach more targets who are still in the dark. Stay grounded, stay clear, stay free, because the narcissist no longer owns you, and they never will again.
I think I already watched that one. Whoops. Hope you're having a good morning. So what happened? It's 6:45 in the morning. Sunday. I did a crazy walk last night. I haven't measured it, but it was really far. Like really far. So what happens? A cup of tea? Cup of tea, love? Cup of tea? With no sugar, no milk, just a cup of tea. I can't fucking buy anything. There's nothing to do. What happened, right? I got no money. Just coins. Screwed. Mum won't fucking reply and lend me some fucking money. All I've got is eggs and a bit of meat and a bit of tuna. I don't even want to count that. What's that? Two. cool. I can buy an iced coffee if I want. $7.20. If they're still on special. Might do that. I'm fucking hungry though. All I've got is potatoes, lamb chunks that are kind of like on their use by date. It was like 2 days ago, maybe. I don't know why they give you meat so close to the fucking use by date. It's crazy. It used to be a lot longer, further away. So that's probably not even any good. Who knows? Might be. It's not really screwed. Oh, I've got a $40 Coles card, but I just can't be fucked going there. Especially on a fucking Sunday. And it's kind of like I'm saving it, you know, but I actually have to go there. What am I going to get? Like 2 loaves of bread, some milk, eggs. Like, that's pretty much it. That's like 40 or 50 bucks just for like that shit. Anyway, smoke and a cup of tea. Should probably get a cup of tea first. I'll just have my tea from the other day. Why the fuck not? There's nothing in it. It's just been chilling out. Cheers. What difference does it make? Sorry about that. We'd already watched that one yesterday, or the day before. It sounded familiar, the whole not getting hard. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I know what he's talking about though, like when you get into those arguments and you just can't, like, you're not attracted to them or something. What one was that anyway? I don't even know. When a narcissist lose control of you. How are you a Nephilim? And is it an evil thing? Here we go.
How are you a Nephilim? Half human, half spirit. Is this an evil thing? Well, this is what happened. See, God created Adam. God, being the universe, created Adam, which was a solar system, not a human. The universe created Adam, which is the solar system. Now the solar system bit of the serpent and became the sine wave, which is the multiverse, with seasons and a zodiac and a star sign. And now you have astrology. Different signs, 12 of them. These are the 12
Happy full moon in
nerds.
Aquarius.
These are the disciples. Jesus is God. Jesus is also the Son. For the Son is the mini universe, the Son being the Son of God. And then you have the Son of Man, for Jesus placed himself inside man and became the Son of Man. Because now Adam bit of the serpent, and now Jesus or God was inside of him as the solar system, as the chakras. Adam didn't have chakras until he fell. Now he had a soul.
This dude is a massive stoner as
Before
well.
that, he was connected to the world.
Bragadino.
Before the world soul was the world soul what it is now. The moon, which is a reflection because it's the outer world. The moon is the body without having a pineal gland open, without having a true light. The sun. And now it is merely a reflection. And this is the multiverse. The sun is the universe.
Interesting. He does some weird, interesting content. I love his channel. He was friends with Santos. Like, he did stuff with Santos. He learned off Santos, so I don't know. But he stayed sort of going. Remember there was like some other dude that like was working with Santos and then split off. Anyway, shh, what was that? I don't know, black and white. That's a secret spot. That's a secret spot. This short. Look at what the view counts are. No, I don't do that. View count. This is some fucking. I have some tricked out. View counts. Oh wow, 552 in the clouds, 366 waterfall night walk, 299. So split 2. They got caned. 6 views. It's obviously weed. I mean, YouTube doesn't like weed content at all. Crazy walk. Crazy walk. Anyway, back to this. Came home. Basically just came home. Fucking was really emotional. You know what was weird last night? This fucking couple come to where I was hanging out. Like, I was hanging out there for ages. But they come just to there and then left. Like, they didn't go up to the fucking. And I'm just like, okay. And then there was a fucking walking, trekking party, and like a whole group. And it was just after I said, that's weird. It's just me, there's the trekkers. And then they came. They could have even started, they could have even come after I said, like I manifested that was weird. Anyway, I still got to measure that, what I did. It was an hour and 20 minutes roughly. 49 to 12. About an hour as well. What have I done? That's not what I want. What have I fucking done? I can't think. I was really tired. I'm really hungry. I just had like a bit of, I think I just ate, peanut butter out of the tub and tuna. we do that? That is the worst thing you can do to a narcissist. Do we do that? And what the narcissist thinks about you long after it's... Do we do that? I know we definitely haven't done You Are the Narcissist Karma. I'm not sure if I did that one. Might have done it yesterday. That dude looks like Hook in the thumbnail. Like it looks
You
like
may
Hook.
be wondering if the narcissist still thinks about you long after it's over. And the answer is yes, not just occasionally, but obsessively. Because when you were with them, you gave everything. Your time, your energy, your love. You nurtured them, protected them. You believed in them when no one else did. So when it's over, you expect something in return. Not because you're selfish, but because you're human. Relationships are meant to be reciprocal. They grow when both people pour into each other. But narcissists are not interested in growth. They're not interested in connection. They're not interested in building anything together. They come to take, to extract, to consume, because they're empty, emotionally stunted, unfulfilled. You were a source of vitality to them,
I've got a different angle today.
a light they could never sustain on their own. They see in you everything they wish they could be, and for a time, they attach to that.
Bigger king.
After they've taken from you your optimism, your love, your attention, they get high. A narcissistic dopamine rush. They feel alive again, but only temporarily, because
Like
it's
the
not
couple
real
came and they're
energy.
just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
It wasn't
jogging on the
generated from
spot.
within.
Just jogging on
It
the
came
spot for
from
like an
you.
hour.
You're left empty, confused, longing. They're riding high, but it's a stolen confidence.
I'm
It
literally
looks
the
like
only
they've moved
person that
on.
does what I do.
It looks like they're thriving,
No one else
but it's
does
an
what I do.
illusion. Because deep down,
I'm the only
they
one.
know they didn't earn this glow. They stole it from you. And just like a parasite, they can only live as long as the host is unaware.
Pack 'em up, pack 'em up, pack 'em up.
What you're witnessing is a survival mechanism. It's primitive, rooted in deep psychological addiction and biology. Narcissists operate from fear, not love.
Cheers.
From shame, not self-worth. From lack, not abundance. They attach to people like you because you have the resources they lack. Emotional stability, compassion, empathy. To a narcissist, you're not just a partner. You're a lifeline, a survival tool.
Oh, what happened to your guests, Anna? What happened to you having guests over?
In evolutionary terms, you were the tribe leader, the provider, the healer. You had value, so they latched on. But instead of building with you, they fed off you. Because they never developed the inner tools to survive on their own.
Shout out to all the narcissists
They weren't
out there.
nurtured.
Cheers for the experiences.
They weren't taught to
learned
self-soothe.
so much.
So
Thank
instead,
you, and I forgive
they
you.
manipulate.
Cheers.
They lie. They cheat. They steal. They shame. They gaslight. Not because they're clever, but because they're terrified. Terrified of being alone. Terrified of being seen. Terrified of being exposed. They learned early on that being vulnerable doesn't work. So they created a false self, a mask. And they survived by making others believe it's real. But you saw through it, and now you are the threat. They're still watching you. They're still thinking about you. Because they've lost their greater supply. You weren't just another relationship. You were their entire strategy. You validated their worth. You made them feel seen. You gave them a taste of love, even if they didn't know what to do with it. Now that you're gone, they can't recreate that feeling. The new supply isn't cutting it, because the truth is, they're trying to replace you with a cheap imitation. They may stalk you, they may smear you, they may pretend you never existed, but it's all part of the same tactic, to regain control. Because you were never supposed to leave. You were meant to stay confused, to keep giving, to keep feeding the machine, and now that you've detached, they're unraveling. What's happening is not just psychological, it's biological. They're addicted to your energy, your presence, your light. You are their supply, but also their fantasy of who they wish they could be. It taps into primal needs, love, safety, approval. These are survival needs, and you met them all. So yes, they become obsessed, because you were a rare and valuable source. A mirror that made them feel whole, even if briefly.
That was fucking
They may
brutal.
discard you like trash, but they watch you like treasure. Because your light reminds them of what they can never become. And when you go no contact, when you stop feeding the illusion, they spiral. Because you're not just a person. You were their emotional life support. So what the narcissist thinks about you, long after it's over, is everything. They think about your strength, your calmness, your resilience, your love.
Not doing that again.
But now they're thinking about it from the outside, because they lost access. They're watching from a distance, trying to find a way back in, but the door is locked. And you've thrown away the key. You've outgrown them. And they know it. That's why they keep watching. That's why they obsess. Because you were never the weak one. You were the source. So don't go back. Don't explain. Don't engage.
That's the majority.
Stay grounded.
That's the majority
Stay
of the 420
rising.
community as well. The Oz 420. It's the
And
majority.
let them sit in the
Majority.
echo chamber of their own destruction.
Full blown narcs.
If this message spoke to you, like, comment, and share with someone who needs to hear it.
That's why no.
Subscribe for more
Buddy's
insights
here.
like this. And if you need one-on-one coaching or support, check the links below. You are the power. You are the source. And they will never
I am the
forget
narcissist magnet. Everyone on me is fucking narcissist. Literally. Literally. And You are the narcissist karma. Indeed. That's what we're going to do.
So after all of these things have been done to you by this narcissist, you're left broken, confused, wondering what just happened. You've lost so much of yourself. You may not even recognize the person in the mirror anymore. And yet somehow, it looks like they've just moved on. Like none of it mattered. As if they're now enjoying everything they took from you, with no consequences. That's what cuts deepest. The idea that maybe they won. That they used you, drained you, and then just slipped into a new life, unpunished. And you're left asking the question that haunts so many victims. Do they ever pay for what they did? Do narcissists ever truly lose anything? Because one thing is clear, they got something valuable from you. Your love, your energy, your loyalty, your light. So now the real question becomes, can they find a suitable replacement for everything they destroyed in you? Can they ever recreate what they lost? Because if they can't, then no matter how it looks on the outside, they've already suffered a severe loss, whether they realize it or not. Now let's get into it. Karma doesn't always come in lightning bolts and bad luck. Sometimes karma is quiet. It's personal. It's the loss of you. They can switch partners, change cities, reinvent their identity for the 1000th time. But wherever they go, they bring themselves. And they already know this. That's why they hide. Why they avoid you. Why they smear your name, block you, ghost you. Not because they're over it. Not because they're winning. They're avoiding consequence. They're running from the one thing they can't face. You. Because you know. You've seen behind the mask. You've seen their fraudulence, their fakeness. And that makes them feel deeply ashamed. They can't face the destruction they left behind. Because deep down, they fear it'll come back to them. So they pretend. They pretend none of it happened. They project. They blame. They twist it until you're the bad one. To make themselves feel better. But here's what they don't understand. There are spiritual and psychological laws at play. There are consequences they can't outrun. Even clinical psychology confirms it. Narcissists sabotage their own relationships, careers, and health over time. Why? Because their entitlement, lack of empathy, and constant need for validation create instability everywhere they go. Studies show narcissists have higher rates of divorce, job loss, addiction, social isolation. They may look good in photos, they may talk a big game, but inside, they're empty. They chase admiration like a drug, but never feel whole, never feel at peace. Because it was never about connection, it was about control. And the day they lose you, the day you stop responding, stop admiring, stop giving, it's the day the withdrawal begins. You used to see them as powerful, desirable, so unworthy. But now, you see them for what they really are. Empty, draining, fake. That loss, it wounds them deeper than they show. Because they're not just losing a partner, they're losing their mirror, their source of supply, their escape from the self they hate. And the worst part, they never find it again. They try, they seek, They chase. But what they're really doing is repeating, recreating the same dynamic you endured with someone else. A new victim, a new mask. It's called repetition compulsion. They're trying to relive the trauma, to gain control over it, but they only sink deeper. Because you can't heal a wound by harming others. You can't become whole by destroying people who loved you. So their relationships keep failing, their highs get shorter, their shame grows stronger, and eventually they run out of masks to wear. People start to see through them, even the naive ones. But let's be real, it wasn't just emotional. You were drained physically too, mentally, sexually. Maybe you experienced low libido, erectile dysfunction, vaginal dryness, dissociation during intimacy. And what did they do? Blamed you, shamed you, said you were the problem. When in reality, your body was protecting you, refusing to bond with someone toxic. Because real intimacy requires safety, connection, love. And narcissists can't give that. So your nervous system shut down. It did what your mind couldn't yet do. Say no. But now, you see, you understand. And that insight, that shift, that's when you become their karma. You walking away. You healing. You rebuilding your life. It's the one thing they can never undo. Because now they know they lost the best thing they ever had. And they destroyed it with their own hands. And when the next person leaves, and the next one fails to measure up, and the silence of their own mind becomes unbearable, they will think of you. They won't admit it, but it'll haunt them. So no, you don't have to get revenge, because your healing is the revenge. They thought they could ruin you and rise, but all they did was reveal how small they really were. They didn't upgrade. They didn't win. They ran from the truth, from themselves. But you became the truth they couldn't hide from. You became the mirror they couldn't crack. You became their karma. If this message resonated with you, drop a comment below. I read them all. Like, share, and subscribe to support this growing community of empowered survivors. Hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And if you want private coaching to help you break the trauma bond, build emotional resilience, and reclaim your power, the link is in the description. Donations are always appreciated to keep this work going and support others going through the same thing. Because yes, karma is real. And this time, you're the one delivering it.
Why the narcissist pretends their tantrums it's never happened.
They act as if nothing ever happened. No trace of the storm they unleashed the night before. No apology, no remorse, not even a flicker of recognition. One moment, they're calm, even charming, and in the next, they're a volcano erupting with rage, tearing through reality, breaking what can't be fixed. You stand in the wreckage, trying to understand what just happened, while they casually ask what's for dinner. They scream, they slam doors, they say the most vile, cruel things, and then they act like it was all a dream, like you imagined it, as if your tears were some kind of performance. Why? Why do narcissists pretend their tantrums never happened? Why do they erase that outburst like chalk on a blackboard, while the pain still bleeds in your memory? Today, we're going deep into the denial, the delusion, and the dangerous tactics they use to keep you confused and controlled. This behavior is very confusing. One moment they're acting like everything's fine. The next, they explode. They rage, they accuse, they throw tantrums, emotional or even physical. And then, silence. No explanation, no apology. Just acting like none of it ever happened. And that's where your mind starts to spiral. Did I imagine it? Am I overreacting? But you're not. You didn't imagine it. You were just exposed to someone who doesn't want to take accountability. And here's the truth. It has nothing to do with you. In fact, their rage often starts when you're the most calm. That's what sets them off. Your peace, your groundedness, your stillness, because it reminds them that they don't have that within themselves. So they rage, not to express emotion, but to coerce, to break your spirit, to drag you down into their chaos so they don't feel alone in it. And when they get that reaction, when they finally push you to the edge, they calm down because now you're the one in pain, and that's when they feel better. Their explosions are not emotional outbursts. They are tools of control. You being calm, composed, secure, that's a threat. Because when you're not falling apart, you're harder to control. They rage to reset the power dynamic. Then they pretend it never happened. Because if they acknowledged it, they'd have to look at themselves. And they can't, so instead they double down, they overcompensate. They rewrite the story and make you the problem. You were too emotional. You were pushing their buttons. And when you try to hold them accountable, they project. Because they can't sit with their shame. If they were to accept that they hurt you, they would have to step back. They would have to reflect. But they don't want space to reflect, because reflection would lead to the truth. And the truth is, they don't deserve you. They know it. Deep down they feel inadequate, unworthy. So instead of rising to meet your energy, they try to destroy it. They find fault in everything you do. If they can't find it, they provoke it. If you're too good, that's the problem. You become unbearable to them, because you reflect everything they'll never be. And that's when the jealousy kicks in. not just envy, but possessiveness. Because they don't just envy you, they want to own you. They want full access, not to love you, but to feed off you. Your energy, your time, your mind, your body, your ability to love, to reflect, to grow. They can't do those things. So they want to control someone who can. And the more self-aware you become, the more uncomfortable they feel. They know they can't keep you the way you are. So they try to ruin you. That's the truth most people never say out loud. They don't want to lose you, but they do want to break you. Because if they can't keep you whole, they'll settle for a version of you that's easier to possess. They want you to question your worth. They want you to feel ashamed. They want you to believe you don't deserve better. So you'll stay, so you'll settle, so you'll stop shining. Some extreme narcissists will even introduce you to drugs, get you tangled up in debt, in legal issues, in shame. Anything to make you less desirable to anyone else. Just like what happened with Cassie and Diddy. As long as he could control the environment, even the abuse became tolerable for him, because he felt in control. And it's the same here. They don't want your freedom. They want your loyalty, even if they have to destroy you to keep it. And when you try to pull away, they don't self-reflect. They tighten their grip. They spread rumors. They isolate you. They blame and shame until you doubt your own reality. Because if they can convince you that you're the problem, then they never have to change. And that's what this is all about. Change requires accountability. Change means surrendering control. But they don't want to change. They want access. They want control over how you see yourself. So they can shape your identity and strip away everything that makes you feel strong. That's why they're jealous when you brush your hair, when you moisturize your skin. That's why they hate why they hate when you go to the gym or meet friends. Because it's all a reminder that you're not broken, that you're still connected to yourself. And they know that the more connected you become, the more likely you are to leave. They can't survive that, so they tantrum, and then they pretend it never happened. Not because they forgot, but because admitting it would mean losing the game. And in their mind, control is more important than love. Power is more important than truth. And as long as they have access, they feel safe, even if they're destroying you in the process. So this is what it comes down to. You were never the problem. Your calmness was the threat. Your joy, your peace, your ability to connect to yourself, that's what triggered them. Because they couldn't do it. They couldn't reach that state. And deep down they knew they didn't deserve someone like you, so they tried to break you piece by piece. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even financially. They made you question your worth, your identity. They poisoned your confidence. They shamed you for the very things that made you beautiful, made you human. And in some cases, they took it even further. They pushed you into self-destruction, drugs, debt, legal trouble, isolation, humiliation. Because if you're ruined, if you're tamed, then maybe you'll stay. Then maybe you won't shine so bright. They want to regulate their envy. They want to control the parts of you they can never embody. They want to see you bow your heads so they can feel tall again. And in their darkest moments, they don't just tolerate your pain, they enjoy it. They revel in the shame rituals, the humiliation, the control. Because if they can't be enough, at least they can make you feel like you're less. But what does this do to you? You start believing a lie. You start thinking you deserve the treatment. You lose pieces of yourself, and one day you look in the mirror and you don't even recognize who you are anymore. But the truth is, your mere existence was always too much for them. Your light was always too bright. You were never meant to be tamed. You were meant to be free. So what now? Now you remember who you are, what you were before they got to you, and what's still waiting for you after all this. You're not here to be broken. You're here to rise. If this message spoke to you, like, comment, and share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. If you'd like coaching or support, the links are in the description. Donations are also welcome and appreciated if you'd like to support this work. You are not alone, and you are never the problem.
When the narcissist realizes you're done.
Hello everyone,
This is alive.
welcome to another Narc Survivor Live video. In this one, talking about what happens when the narcissist realizes you're done. Because it gets to a certain point in the relationship where you're just fed up. You've had enough. You don't want to do it anymore. You're tired, exhausted. You've tried everything already. You've done everything you can to make it better, to make it right, to try and make them happy, to fix things. And they've just been devaluing you for such a long time, just making you feel like you're nobody, you're nothing, you're not good enough. And so it gets to a point where you just kind of give up on them. You just think, what's the point of even trying then? And of course, it makes perfect sense. If you're no good for them, if you're not good enough, then why shouldn't you pull away? Why shouldn't you come back to yourself? But this is it. Just because you say you're done, it doesn't mean they are going to acknowledge or respect it. It doesn't mean that they're done with you. Because remember, we're talking about people who are lacking empathy, self-absorbed. All they care about is themselves. When did they ever care about your feelings, your needs? But of course I get it, because they showed us this false character at the beginning, and Many of us, we may have this idea in our minds that if we just sacrifice enough, if we just run ourselves into the ground, then eventually they're going to see it. They're going to see what they've been doing to you, how they've affected you, how they've ruined your life, how you tried everything to make them happy. They're going to see that, and then they're going to be there for you. And of course, you know, it's nice to think that somewhere in there, there's a heart, there's an ounce of empathy for you. They're never going to be that way. And they're just going to end up destroying you. And this is why, you know, it's unfortunate. Those of us who stay in it that long still believe in the mask to some extent, thinking that there's an ounce of empathy in there somewhere. There's a human. There's someone who can still care. If the situation calls for it, if it gets that bad. But no, they won't. And they won't pull back. And they won't cut it off with the abuse. All these individuals care about is if they're going to get what they want or not. And typically they're not going to take no for an answer. If they can see that you're still able to take care of yourself to some degree, then they're going to want more. They're going to want more of your energy, your attention, validation, money, because they're going to see you and how you're growing, you're healing, you're moving on. So they're not just going to accept that you say that you're done. Because what about them now? You're meant to be their source of supply. And so some of them may see it as though they just need to fine-tune their manipulation. They may see it as though you just need something from them because, you know, they're so wonderful. They're such amazing people. You just need a bit of love bombing. You just need a gift. You just need a hug. That's what you need from them. And then you'll be back doing for them again, giving to them, worrying about them, caring about them. If that doesn't work, some of them may play the victim. They may start acting like you abandoned them. You abandoned your duties when you should have been serving them. They may use scare tactics. Or they may just play the victim, trying to get you to feel bad for them, giving you sob stories. They may even exaggerate it. They may use fake crises, fake emergencies, making you think that they're really in trouble. They really need your help. If that still doesn't work, they may try other things to just stir up certain emotions in you. They may try and provoke jealousy. They may flaunt their new supply, make you feel like you've missed out on something. Again, it's just to get you to invest more of yourself. That's all they care about, that's all they want, is more of you, more supply. But if none of these tactics work, it can get very dangerous for you. When you say that you're done, you cut them off, they may escalate it. They may use threats, intimidation, force, coercive control, legal and financial manipulation, smear campaigns, assassinating your character, ruining your reputation, isolating you, sabotaging you. They may do all of these things. And it's all about control. Because once there was a time when you were their little puppets, where when they said jump, you would say how high. You would never say that you're done to them. And so they're looking at it like, this is something new. This is something that they haven't seen before. They haven't seen you do. How can you just be done? In their minds, you are meant to be the eternal. You don't ever really need anything. I mean, they can just give the manipulation, go back and forth between the love bombing, devaluation, maybe just tweak it a little bit. There should never be a time where you are done, you are fed up. But you gotta go and take some time out. But you're throwing in the towel. Does it make sense to them? To them, you're just kind of like, they don't even really view you as a real person, as human. You're just an object, an appliance. You're just a robot. A puppet. And that's how they've always got to have you under control. They can just push your buttons and make you do what they want. Notice how they always do things on cue. Trigger you in certain ways, get you to jump, react when they need you to. They're not ever thinking of you as a person. It's got nothing to do with action. They never care about your emotions, your needs. That matters to them. So of course, when you say that you're done, you're really just setting a boundary there. It's new to them. They're just looking at it as though it's just a glitch in the code. It's just an error. And they just have to refine their manipulation to override it. To pull you back in, to get you doing and serving them again. That's how they see it. They're not ever thinking about it as though it actually means anything. Like now they've got to stop, now they've got to listen, now they've got to care. No, they're never looking at it that way. It's only when they physically cannot regain access to you, when you have strong boundaries, support networks, when you enforce the law, when there's actual real consequences, they could get in trouble, then they'll start to listen. Then they won't mess around with you anymore. But if they feel like they can still manipulate you, they can still reel you back in, your words don't mean anything to them. What does it matter if you say that you're done? It means nothing. And if anything, it's kind of like you put a little bit of a boundary. What's the boundary? Just your words, you say, I'm done. It's kind of like you build a wall out of cardboard. The narcissist sees it. It amuses them a little bit. You might see the narcissistic smirk. And then they go and they just kick it right down, step over it, get back to doing what they were doing before. That's how they look at it. They just see it as a joke. It's something to laugh about. It's amusing to them. They see it as though all they got to do is just refine the motivation, maybe a bit of love bombing. If that doesn't work, play the victim. Provoke a bit of jealousy in you, you'll be right back. They'll have you back under their control again. And none of that works. All they got to do is up their game. Threats, intimidation, coercion. Making false accusations, false reports about you, sabotaging you, especially financially. And you've got to go right back to them. So they don't see it as though there's any way for you to get out of it. For you to just say that you're done. For you to actually walk away, escape. Typically the narcissist, they're not going to be seeing it that way. It's just going to be amusing to them. Because they have all of these different tactics, all these different ways to pull you back in. To make it so that you will need them, so that you can't just go off without them. Now, of course, if they start to see things where it's like, you're making new friends and you're dating again, move into a different area, getting a job, making money, to a certain point where it's like you'll never need them again. That's when that amusement, that rides, that game is over. They're not seeing it as a joke anymore then. Now it starts to get serious. Now they know they are in a bit of trouble. Again, that's when you have to be very careful, because typically they're going to start smearing you,
6 eggs,
bad mouthing you to people, to your new friends, your new partner, trying to sabotage the relationship.
AVB, man. Heaps of it.
Maybe trying to get you fired from your job. Be creating scams. Just creating problems for you and trying to get you to overspend.
Leo King. Whoa. He's got crazy.
Full moon in Aquarius, August 9th, and I'll be covering also the whole weekend, the 10th.
Of 2025. Actually, the part of LDO came here to illuminate the collective consciousness. I'm actually doing this
Compresses the shit.
about within the hour exactly of the actual full moon's apex here.
Cheers.
It's good to be with you all. Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there. Of course, I show up here on YouTube on the new full moons and with History in the Stars. And sometimes when I do interviews and stuff, of course, you can join me down at highvibe.tv, of course, to get all my content all the time, be part of the awesome community where it's a full social network and we all are gathered there and talking about everything from, is it a comment or not? There's a lot of stuff going on out there always, and we're definitely the spiritual home for people. And of course, you can check out hypergate.ai, but down below, especially with lots of new updates in the AI world, what we've been doing with astrology. I've been doing some crazy stuff in the last just like day with some of the new stuff available. So I would definitely check it out. Well, I hope you're all doing wonderful out there. We are here finally at the full moon in Aquarius. And I did make of course, well, I always make a visual for things. Full moon in Aquarius, me coming out of a spaceship, a typical Leo here, coming out of a spaceship. The full moon in Aquarius here. I do like this vibe though. I actually am going to say I love this full moon in Aquarius, and I've been seeing some mixed reviews about the full moon from astrology. I guess you could say astrologers out there. I actually think it's amazing. One, it's the way I would describe it is the sun and the moon feel like they're missing out. So there's a party happening in our solar system, and the sun and the moon don't feel like they're part of it. And I'm going to talk about that in this horoscope today, because we have this amazing kite that we've been seeing with Mars that just made its ingress into Libra, the trine to Uranus and Gemini, and then it's trine over to Pluto, and then the Uranus-Pluto trine, and then of course the opposition is Saturn and Neptune in Aries for Mars. So Mars is activating all three outer planets that since November of 2024, we've seen all three move into new signs, and this is a big activation here. It's a perfect kite. I mean, to be honest with you, it moves into a mystical rectangle by Monday. But the weird part about this full moon, not only is it that there's this amazing kite and there's 5 planets involved. I mean, it's not like it's boring, and it's not like we have to use an asteroid or we have to use a node or something to kind of create this kite. It's exact by 5 planets. But there is that Mercury retrograde that's still happening, and we're starting to see Mercury station this weekend, and this full moon can definitely be bringing it up, right? This full moon is in Aquarius. Mercury is retrograde still in Leo, and it is in a separating opposition to Pluto, but it's definitely an opposition to Pluto. And so I'll be honest with you, I've tried to get all these things live today, and just everything just did not work out. I'm just it was one of those, like, even my Apple ID, which I just actually found out I hadn't changed my password in 5 years, when it wasn't even accepting it. It was like one of those things that I got lucky, and my Mac was able to like connect in and change the password, but it wouldn't on my iPhone, it wouldn't on my iPad, it wouldn't do any of that stuff. And I'm like, what? And I'm a developer, and my developer account was doing all of that. I'm like, some glitch happened, and I fixed it, but it took me an hour and a half just to get to where I could do everything, and especially not lose everything. So anyway, it's just one of those Mercury retrogrades that we're feeling extremely, but at the same time, let's take a look at the charts. And I do want to show you first, if you have not watched History in the Stars yet, for what Dr. Ann Wilkie and I just did this week, you definitely should. The last time that you could have lived through a Mars in Libra, trine Uranus and Gemini, and at the same time trine Pluto and Aquarius to form the grand trine that we're in, August 8th, 2025, right before, about 12 hours before the full moon. And then January 3rd, 650 into 651 BC. The time before that was 903 and 904 BC. And the time before that was 1157 and 1158 BC. We're getting into like over 3,000 years ago. Now, the last time for us was 2,600 plus years ago. I just want to remind people that, and so I'm not going to spend my whole horoscope going into all that history, because, Ann and I went 2 hours and 40 plus minutes, and it's mind-blowing. It's all connected to research, libraries, astrology. It's actually connected to astrology. So And I think that's interesting too when you have the planet Uranus, the modern ruler of astrology, in Gemini, the ruler, right? Mercury is the ruler of astrology. And Mercury rules over Gemini. I think this is where that Uranus in Gemini really starts to show itself with astrology. And I would say that if I were to, I could do a whole presentation just on proving that with now seeing this data and actually showing it to people. Let's take a look. So this full moon, I'm going to describe first why this full moon does not feel like it's part of the party. So the sun, it's already halfway through Leo. It's at 16 degrees and 59 minutes on this full moon. Of course, that means the moon in Aquarius that's full is going to be at 16 degrees, 59 minutes. We already see that semi-square from the full moon over to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that's in retrograde in Aries, which is super tight. Oh, and they're not even conjunct yet, but they're conjunct, if that makes sense. But they're not conjunct because they don't conjunct till February 20th of 26. They're coming back into Pisces. Then the sesquiquadrate that's happening is happening right here, this 135 to Mars from this moon. So this moon already has a tense aspect with Saturn and Neptune, has a really odd, minorly tense aspect with Mars. And so it's dealing with the two malefics. Okay, and then it's at Neptune. We could call that a malefic as well. It likes to bounce back and forth. Neptune never knows. Dare I say, Neptune's like the trainee of fucking astrology. And that's cool. No big deal. You want to flip side, that's all good. But what's crazy is that also the sun in a sesquiquadrate to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that's happening. And then of course we're in a sun-moon opposition. And then that Mars, which now I'm just going to take you for a second and pull that stuff out. We'll use a different color. We'll use orange. So now we're going to look at this kite. The grand trine that Mars is creating, right? So Mars here in Libra at 1 degree and 28 minutes, making a nice trine to Pluto within less than a degree at 2 degrees. And some change there in Aquarius, and then of course Mars just finishing, but still in a almost exact, but separating trine over to Uranus there, 1 degree and 8 minutes, and then of course the opposition that Mars is doing to Saturn Neptune. So what's really interesting is everything is hitting Saturn Neptune in some sort of way, even the Venus and Jupiter conjunction, which I know a lot of people are kind of obsessed with these conjunctions. I'm not. Because this way P. Diddy was born with the Jupiter-Venus conjunction. I don't trust people with them. Too much good. Too much baby oil. But this one, we have to remember that transit alone right there is beginning to semi-square Uranus. It's not now, but just when it comes up a couple more degrees here. 2, this also is kind of a weird just place, like there is not much connection to Jupiter Venus, so they're kind of on their own. And of course, yeah, they are getting ready for the semi-square over to Uranus, and at the same token Mars will begin its square to Jupiter. I mean, like I don't see this Venus and Jupiter conjunction as some kind of like I see the Mars, Saturn Neptune opposition and the grand trine to Pluto and Uranus kite way bigger than Jupiter Venus. I think it's just like by happenstance happening.
That was awesome.
We have Mercury retrograde, of course, that's still happening. It's going to station direct, I think, around the same time as this full moon, around midnight Pacific, Monday morning, early. This is a rare moment if you are able to catch the dawn before the sun rises. You are able to see Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury, and Mars, believe it or not. So uh, we're about to say bye to Mars. Let's not forget that. So we're actually able to see these planets depending on the dawn. I think, right, with Mars it's setting, but it's after dark, right after dusk. So I just think, this is going to be us really as the sun here in Leo is getting ready to come into eclipses, right? I mean, we have one more lunar cycle, and it's the new moon in Virgo, but there's going to be 2 new moons, and the second new moon is going to be a solar eclipse at 29 Virgo. And then we have the lunar eclipse that's happening halfway through Pisces. So this is kind of like the peak moments of the year of everything that's culminated, all these outer planets. Sure, we'll throw Jupiter, Venus in there. Actually Jupiter, Venus is making a quintile over to, I think it's in this case, Jupiter is in quintile to Eris, and Venus is in, well, I think it's at Jupiter, and it's kind of light. There's biquintiles happening to the moon, though, from Venus, Jupiter. So I think that's kind of where they're helping. And of course, the moon is an important one. Jupiter, Venus are hanging out in Cancer. So really, I think it's helping this moon that's really not feeling connected. I have to trust that there is some support somewhere, right? To me, Jupiter and Venus and Cancer is very much like the blue fairy in some Disney movie. Like, oh yeah, the fairy will show up somehow. So I think if you're looking for the physical, like, where's my good luck? Remember, Jupiter's not about good luck. It's about experience. And with the sun, look at it. The sun's only aspects are negatively aspected, but they're weird aspects. They're not like potent, strong shit, right? It's not like the potent stuff is this kite. It's making Jupiter, Venus seem like nothing, to be honest with you. And I just showed you the data, and I'll show it to you again, because some people out there will not get this through their heads. The last time you could be in a grand trine with Mars and Libra, Pluto and Aquarius, and Uranus and Gemini is 2,600 plus years ago. Okay? What were you doing in 651 BC? All right. Jupiter-Venus conjunctions happen every 12 years in Cancer. And let's not forget that Saturn and Neptune are in Aries. We're actually kind of used to this story. I want to bring something else up about this full moon. That's why it's like a party, but also it's got some memories to it. Spring, there was lunar eclipses that were happening in Libra with that Mars retrograde and the big cardinal crosses. So we have some T-square energy that's building this story. I want to bring something else up about this full moon. That's why it's like a party, but also it's got some memories to it. Is going back to 2013 into 2014, especially when Mars was in Libra, it retrograded 2014. We had Uranus that was in Aries, we had Pluto in Capricorn, and we had Jupiter in Cancer. And that spring, there was lunar eclipses that were happening in Libra with that Mars retrograde and the big cardinal crosses. So we have some T-square energy that's building, but Saturn, Neptune are retrograding back towards Pisces. And so I think there's a hallelujah of like, oh, we don't have to go through that shit again. But I also think that this is where the sun and the moon feel like, well, there's this huge kite. All these planets have decided to get together, not around us. We're not connected to it. Remember that the new moon that was prior to this 2 weeks ago was in direct aspect to all the outer planets and Saturn, Neptune. It's trine Saturn, Neptune. So it almost feels like the sun and the moon are like, what? Everyone's partying without us? It's like, they're shutting us out. They don't want us in there. That's really what a 45-degree angle and 135 is like by boxing it out. And so what does that mean? I think what it means is, one, our emotions and our awareness about how everything's going down in our lives isn't really potent. We kind of feel like we're a little bit off, to say the least. But at the same time, we know there's a lot of awesome, momentous doorways and things to make happen. Is Mercury retrograde at the same time as in opposition to Pluto? It's like, let's figure out what needs to get done in our lives to be happier, and what do we have to do? Especially when it comes to who do we need to connect with? What futuristic aspect do I need to jump on? I mean, this is Mars and Libra now trying Uranus and Gemini. Futuristic energy. How's your future going? This is a time where, should you be really strolling through TikTok or building an AI right now? What are you doing with your energy and your time? Because Saturn and Neptune are hitting the sun and the moon hard. And they're saying, we're going to go back into Pisces, and we're going to start this new energy in this new world next year, early. Are you on top of it? So I feel like the sun and the moon are exhausted. They just feel like we always got to hold the light for all this energy, and they're realizing that all these planets are finding ways to connect in the most powerful way. Now, a kite is all about, well, how do you fly a kite? The opposition is really where the problem is. Everything else is right there, ready to go. But it's also the strength and the backbone. And so this Mars and Libra can be hesitant, and that Saturn and Neptune can be hesitant as well. Right? I don't know if I should do this, and I don't know if I should be this, or is this what other people want? It's like Mars has waited so long. Just take this for example. You don't normally in your life see Mars even in a trine to Pluto and Uranus at the same time, because Pluto and Uranus met in 1964. So tell me how Mars could have trined both, as far as in a grand trine. Not till this moment. So that's already going back 60 plus years. Then you got to go back to the last trine, which, if you think about it, it's that was a while back, last century, the turn of the century. So, and even with Uranus and Neptune, but that's Uranus and Neptune, though, that met in the 1800s, late 1800s. I mean, you just got to think, this is not a normal transit. So it's like a full moon that's highlighting, there's a doorway here, the biggest doorway ever. And you can't get all emotional about it, even though we want, there's frustrations of how do we express it. But you got to see the silver dollar here. You got to see the silver lining here. This is the most epic kite I've ever seen. Especially mathematically, especially what's the hesitation? And I think what it is that it's where the people are frustrated of all the weird shit happening in our world and how long that's been. We've been going on for a long time. 2, the future is not just knocking on your door, it's forcing itself into our life. And you have to adapt and you have to be ready for it. And you can't just go do the way that you want to go do it fully, right? That Leo energy saying I want to just do it the way I like to do it. And the Aquarius is well, the future's coming whether you like it or not, and the future's forcing itself in and defining, especially its way. So if you don't like technology and futuristic energy and the way that it's advancing so quick. I mean, this is Mars and Gemini right now. This is Pluto and Aquarius. Here's Mars and Libra. So it's the relationship that we have to build with the future, the relationships that we are in, do they move into the future correctly with us? Are they adaptable to kind of seeing what's going on and going, okay, I gotta go and do this, right? That's where that Mars trying to be honest is like, all right, it's not about, well, what's everyone else doing? It's more like, who gets it? Who's got it? Who's ready to just pick up the pieces that they see too and go, let's put it together? It's the full moon of Aquarius. But we have to remember we have to make ourselves happy, the sun and Leo, and that comes first. Full moon's always where we gotta like purge and truly release the energy. This Aquarius, it's not gonna just go away with Uranus being in Gemini. And with Mercury retrograde, it's kind of making the Leo energy like rethinking. What do I have to do? This is about not freaking out. The Jupiter Venus is saying we have to hold the container of these new energies, and that's the experience. We got to experience new feelings where the new emotions are going to feel comfortable. Where's that container going to be? In any situation right now, any relationships or people where it's just like, this doesn't make sense, it doesn't connect, it only thinks about itself. This is very much selfless service type. Selfless, while still understanding yourself. And it is very much like, who can hold the emotional space for me and others? It's not just about people who can just hold it for themselves, but being aligned with people who can hold their emotions themselves, for others, and for you. The healthiest human being on the planet now is somebody who can handle the emotions for all of it, right? All the layers that the Aquarian energy represents: the collective, their friends, their lover, your own kids, yourself. If you can't do that, or somebody that you're dealing with can't do that and doesn't care, and they're just very selfless and they're selfish and they just want to focus on themselves. This is where that Mars in Libra is like, yeah, no thanks. I don't really want to get lost into your like obsession with like capitalizing on yourself. So if you're very ego driven right now, not going to be good time. This is the time to define yourself, while at the same time it's defining what you can contribute to the world now, what you can do for others too, and yourself. That there's a win-win here. See, the sun and the moon feel offline because the party's happening and they want in. But that means they both have to bring their best versions. So Aquarius and Leo has to bring their best versions. Aquarius has to be cool, not so disconnected, and definitely with the future, instead of afraid of the future with Pluto there. And then the Leo has to come in and go, I'm here to be the life of the party, but not to suck up all the oxygen out of the party. And maybe I should just not have to say everything, but say things that, I think about for a second, that I reason correctly, and that I just don't fire out whatever I think should happen right away, right? Like this is where the Jupiter-Venus, I think, true energy conjunction is that follows us after this full moon and comes into Monday and Tuesday when Mercury stations direct. Is it about the container to hold all these energies in emotionally with people, yourself, and the greater collective? Mars and Libra here, there are so many beautiful ways to connect to a radically amazing new way, new path, new world, while still also maintaining the best versions of yourself, but adapting to this kind of new energy. It's cardinal energy. It's starting a big engine with this kite. And the opposition to that Saturn-Neptune is like wanting to keep the old identification of the past alive, and it's not going to let it. Right? Like you're trying to do it the old way, and it's not going to work. That North Node in Pisces, that thing's going to get fired up when the lunar eclipse comes on the next full moon. And remember that we're also coming into and maybe spend some time in your, I don't know, maybe you got to go through, your MySpace if it's still around. I think they deleted all the search for all the pictures, but what were you doing the summer of 2006? This is the same push in, right? August into September. And you had to go through major life changes. Remember that Mars, last time I talked to you all, was in Virgo. Now it's out. It was with the South Node. Now it's got great trines. I mean, we're so used to Mars having to come in and not have any good aspects with Uranus, not have any good aspects to Pluto. This is a different Mars now. Sure, it's opposed Saturn, Neptune, but believe it or not, even though Mars is detriment, Saturn is at fall position. It hates to be in Aries, and Mars is the dispositor to it. So Mars is winning in that opposition, and Mars has the support of the whole universe. So if you're going to be old identification self and keep running old systems and old past ways of yourself and trying to rebrand and pivot and do it in a way that you're still just being the same thing, this is the full moon that really will get you more bugged out. The frustrations we're dealing with about connecting these new things in life is natural. And it feels like we're kind of in between the matrix loading up a new operating system, because that's what's happening. So I know that feels weird. But as long as you're really in that spot that's like in the pocket of my own heart's happiness, that does great for others, connects with the world, you're not going to end up being some bot. You're not going to end up being some NPC. But the NPC right now is, I don't know, I'm just going to stay in the old job, and I'm stay in the old kind of relationships, and I'm going to stay in the things that don't want to integrate in the future, and just keep doing the old thing. This is our first, like, shot off the bow warning from the universe. Like, it ain't going back to the old way. And everything's going to look completely different. This is where we've reached the point in 2025 where it's like, okay, it's real. It's never coming back the old way. And it is going to keep getting odder and weirder, especially when we really go back into Pisces with Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus and Taurus coming back. But that's up ahead. That's still part of your future, is understanding that your past is going to try and pull you back. And most of those things might not be an object or a person. Could be for some, but it's really the subconscious, the deeper hidden stuff that we just keep running and running and running that isn't working. Now the expansion here that I feel like as well with this North Node in Pisces, it really is the highest spiritual movement we're in. It is allowing yourself to go, the dock broke, my boat is at sea, all right, I'm not tripping out. There's probably better land somewhere else. Let me just go out there and see what the universe has to do. Let me just jump in the ship, see where it's going to take me. The one that feels like it's part of the future, the one that feels that it sparks your interest, and that it's exciting. So it's okay to have frustrations when exciting things aren't happening, because there's good pressure for things to come together. That's where that Mars opposite Saturn comes in, right? It's like very focused, and then, it's like I just want to get it done now, but there's something that always kind of blocks it for a sec. This is a temporary transit. The Mars transit is awesome with the trine to Pluto and so forth. But I do want people to kind of remember that going back to 2013, 14, during those cardinal cross energies and the Pluto-Uranus square, this is the first moment for us to celebrate we're out of the Pluto-Uranus square. And we're beginning it's weird because when Uranus comes back into Taurus, we technically are in the square, but that's just by signs. But this is the first moment of actually feeling the positive of where Pluto and Uranus are moving, right? Pluto and Uranus are very connected to all of our lives, how the world's been, especially going back to when they conjuncted in the 60s, to when they made their big squares from 2012 through 2015, and dare I even say all the way up until just about a month and a half ago when Uranus made its ingress into Gemini. This is a big moment for us to start to celebrate that we are moving into a world that you gotta be for the people, contribute, and be more than just for yourself. I know there's going to be a lot of astrologers that say, you need to just focus on yourself. It's Saturn and Aries, and Neptune and Aries. No, it's just bringing your soul as the person that comes out, not the meat suit ego that you want to be. Like, nobody's into some ego anymore. That is the most unattractive thing on the planet now. You're a big what? Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But authenticity, that's this is that person's soul. I can feel them. And this is where that extroverted energy. So this is also the full moon where I've been telling you all that 2025 is the year that we begin the year of the extrovert, and it doesn't end for 20 plus years. This is the full moon now. It's extrovert. You have to communicate and be without being a nuisance, right? Without being an egomaniac, without being it all about just you. You got to read the room. And more than just read the room, you got to read the future. And you got to read your future, and you got to see where you're not just following things, but you're following where the world is starting to turn and putting your innovative approach to it, your unique approach to it. This is not a time that you should just be sitting back and going, I'm just gonna just see. No. You're gonna miss out. It's moving faster than you've ever felt it before. And this is a full moon that reminds you of it, and it's the warning shot. It's not gonna just give you a space to go, oh, let's just go redo a couple more years and I'll figure it out. No, you gotta figure it out like by the second now, by the minute, by the hour. You gotta look at the signal that's coming through every second, every minute is saying, keep doing this. There's a message on this. Keep doing this. Keep moving into this future. Keep getting away from the old way, the old world, all these old themes. Get out of it. And you'll be thankful. This is what you're releasing, is the fear of the future. And to love the excitement of the future that you're already in the present walking in. And to be honest with you, honoring the past, but also going, I ain't gonna go replay that shit. I want people to remember that your boy's the guy who found this one out, so of course we're dealing with 3i Atlas. But it was on January 12th, 2020. We all know about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that happened from our Earth's point of view, of course, and geocentric, but also heliocentric when it was with the Sun, Ceres, Saturn, Pluto, and now I trace back, it was exactly with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, this fucking interstellar object, the third one, Atlas, on the exact day that changed the world. So you better pay attention to this thing. If you're, oh no, it's alien. Oh, it's just a comet. You're really dumb. I don't know what to tell you at this point. You're really not paying attention spiritually from the biggest messenger that's ever come. I mean, this is 2020, January 12th, the day. And remember, there was a lunar eclipse then as well, so you could add the moon right down there. That motherfucker was an exact alignment. I know people thought I was crazy back in 2019, 2020, 2021 especially, to 2022. I ended up being right. But I'll be right about this. There was no virus. It came from the skies. The newest data that just came out about this object will blow your mind. No thanks. 3. Oh, you can read my my Substack on this. I did a long Substack. It's actually doing pretty good. Did like 25,000 views already. I go way deep into the Palladian prophecies, connecting this to DNA and connecting this to the signal that we've been waiting for, and going through the orbits and going through all this stuff and the heliopause and this stuff I've been talking about a long time, but connecting it all. But that was funny that it just did that. But if you look at this, you do water. So, it's kind of crazy because what they're finding is that comets have 4 primary components. They all have solid nucleus, and when comets come close to the sun, they warm up, causing outgassing that produces a coma around the nucleus, as well as 2 tails, a dust tail left along its path, and an ion tail pointing away from the sun. But this is shrouded by a coma made from small particles of dust that have been lifted off the interstellar comet's surface. The coma is hiding the nucleus, but thanks to Hubble's careful observations, astronomers now placed upper and lower limits of the size of that core. It's potentially as large as 3.5 miles across, while the smallest it could be is 1,000 feet. That's quite a large size range in the context of cometary bodies, but they saw a dust plume emanating from the sun-facing warm side of the comet and feeding the coma, plus the barest tints of a dust tail. These are all typical features of a comet that is still around that size.
Cheers.
But it's behaving much like it native to the solar system. So far, only its velocity and the hyperbolic trajectory marked out is different, but despite that, when it gets closer, that'll be interesting, but it's actually got the most... Hold on, these people here. No, there's no clear evidence of water around 3i Atlas. This is from Avi Loeb. But what it is saying is that the dust on it is the most potent dust ever. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is I told you whatever that shit was in 2020 came from the fucking skies. Okay, that it was alien shit. This, well, now I think I'm proven right with it being exactly in alignment with Saturn Pluto, January 2020. But this has got a reddening curve of dust, predicts a mild variation of reddening. We have to remember that Earth, we will end up going in our orbit where it's gonna go through, where we will come into this dust and we are gonna get hit with some cosmic interstellar shit. We don't know what it is still. I mean, 3 hours ago, they just added this image on Wikipedia, and that's from July 21st. But there's definitely something beyond up, and if you want to know that during this full moon, it is happening in Sagittarius tropically and starting to come right on top of Antares during this thing. I do have... Oh, I didn't save that. Did I not? No, I did not. I might be able to pull it up now. Hold on. I did.
was on the way back. It was like 2.6 Ks.
August 8th, August 9th.
2.6.
Oh, so it just
Close to 10.
it just passed 10
Close to 10.
on the just past 10 where Taurus now it's hitting you if you're born prior to 2012. This full moon, it's hitting your natal Taurus, the great big giant, the biggest sun in our galaxy. But now this full moon brings us and it starts moving into Sag, and we're getting ready for it to come into Scorpio.
Hope you're
As we
having a
come
good
into
day.
Virgo, we're going to be going right into Scorpio with this object tropically. So, start thinking out there. Start being prepared
111
for the
minutes.
future.
111 minutes.
Anything's possible right now. And it's time to bring it. It's time to see it and do something about it instead of just sit there and act like it ain't happening. This is where Aquarius has to put all these pieces together and figure it out. I know it's not easy, but I'll be honest with you. Anything's possible right now in your life. You could be, right now, you could be a millionaire faster than ever. You could be anything you want to be. You could do whatever you want to do. The fact that even just ChatGPT 5 just launched the day prior, I'm like, and most people don't get it still, but things, I don't even know why anybody would go to school, like college anymore. No point. You can do anything. Let's see the card that we got for today from this full moon. And to think that the next full moon is a lunar eclipse, and then we come into another new moon in Virgo, a solar eclipse by the end of Virgo season. That's in just 45 days or less. Boy, it's gonna get crazy. That's right, I had to hide my cards from my daughter. She comes up. I'm at my house right now. She comes up and she steals my tarot cards and she starts throwing them and throwing her own tarot along. Oh, that's right. Follow me. Track me. Track me. Gotta go slow. Okay. Alright, what do we got here? Boom. I think this is the coolest astrology ever. That's me. I know a lot of people out there, I don't know. This shit's badass. Because if you're connected to doing badass shit, then it's badass. Although, it might not feel comfortable, and there's a lot of discomfort because it feels like you are kind of in between realms, and you are, and then also at the same time waiting for all the pieces to come together. But that's the coolest part. Live on the edge. I don't know why you'd want to live in that old world that was very heavy.
Tangled, mate.
So, it's coming from me though. You're allowed to have your own view of life. Well, I got the Two of Wands upright, so we're definitely looking at the world that we're going to go create, the new world, pondering what that looks like, and also, for some, determined. It's okay to be determined right now. Just got to think you, locally, everywhere, and how it connects to everything. You just can't think about just me and myself and my eye. That's the old way. Oh wow, I got Four of Wands. There's a celebration here. This is the cosmos, like I said, all the planets are having a party and the sun and moon don't feel invited, and they're going to have to learn their lesson. The parents are going to have to learn their lesson. Although, as John D says, Mercury is at a stable point, not just the king and the queen, but also the mom and the dad, the father and the mother of all the planets, because Mercury is all the planet glyphs split into Mercury, but we'll use the sun and moon as the mom and dad need to kind of get with the times. And you need to get with the times and get over your old shit and get over all this stuff of just like, this is horrible. No, it's actually the most badass moment. I know it's not easy, but it ain't bad. What's bad is whatever you're really lost in that you can't move into this cool ass future with. This is the coolest shit. And you all know I've been doing a daily video since 2012, April 10th. I haven't seen a cooler chart than this shit in 15 years. So I've been doing it prior, but 13 years of every day. You're not gonna see cooler than this. All right, everyone. Definitely make sure that you check out High Vibe TV. You can get my special about 3i Atlas on there as well. It's called Bringers of the Signal. It's on the paid video section. Make sure that you're a member and join our community. It's poppin'. We have the most poppin' community and engagement. It's badass. And it's all spiritual. It's so cool that I have to not be stuck on these social media platforms just full of a lot of crap right now. I appreciate you all. Much love. Take care. Have a beautiful weekend and release your fear of the future on this full moon. Goodbye.
Oh, here's one for you, Vape HQ. Wait, Vape HQ AU, Vape HQ AU? Is that there?
Today's video, we're looking at the Iron Tiger Forge Sakura Doragon. This is a price point katana from Iron Tiger. It's with some specs, up close looks.
Here you go,
and a little bit
legend.
of cut testing. Alright, first impressions on this one. This is the Sakura Doragon. It's a 1050 high carbon steel. This one is a genuinely clay tempered blade. The edge is plenty sharp, as you're going to see in the cut testing. It is a genuine race
Shout
stand
out to
with a
Vape
brown
HQ
wrap.
AU.
And they have antique bronze or brass
Shout out to
rather
Vape.
fittings on this one. It's overall really comfortable. Obviously, you've got that two-handed grip. Single-handed cuts and single-handed grip actually work really well. You're going to see a little bit, maybe a few blemishes on it because I already did the cut testings. I do that all on the same day. I would say also another really good feature is that they have this more speckled appearance on their scabbards, and I will get a more proper up-close look. Now, this is to resist water and scratches and things like that, so that way, if you did have this in a sword bag, if you did have it up on a sword stand, it's less likely to wear over time, which I really like that, especially it being a price point item. And it's wrapped really nicely on the scabbard. It's a wood cord painted scabbard with this like waterproof-ish coating to scratch resistant coating. Draws in out of the scabbard just fine.
There you go, Vape.
And for a price point
Vape
katana,
HQ
you want something to
AU.
cut testing with, Iron Tiger Forge is definitely a company to go with.
AU.
Just because of their quality control, consistency of the edges. I've never had anything like fail or anything like that. Even
He's a ninja.
cut testing on katanas
Vape
over the
HQ
years.
AU is a ninja.
So entry level katana, something for a gift for somebody where it's got all the most of the authentic features what you see in a katana for under $200. Can't really go wrong with that.
Remember how I was deciding between
Other thing I'll
Venti
say is
and
the tip is wedged.
Angus and
So if you're not
Hans,
familiar with katanas,
and I just got
they
both,
have this wedge tip.
and a bunch of other shit too.
And that
That was
is
pretty
intended
funny.
so then when there is
Whoops.
impact on the thrust, that way it's less likely.
And now I just mainly like the Venti.
Roman
Anyway.
Gladius also have that as well, and I believe the Spathas do, but I know for
There
sure
you
the
go.
Roman Gladius do. So
There's an awesome
that's
sword
just
for you, bro.
physics,
Cult
so
of
that way
Athena.
you don't have this grilled tip. It's
Cheers,
right.
vape.
So that wedge tip is it also looks really cool too. But yeah, I'll get more up close looks with
Still
it. So
open.
let's go ahead and take a look at this one in the scabbard
I
and
do
out of
everything.
scabbard. Overall length 40 3/8 inches, blade length 28 3/4 inches. Weight is 2 pounds 7 ounces. The edge is very sharp
I'm not interested.
with a width of 32 millimeters.
Not really, if he was doing arming sort of watch it. There you go, vape. Sakura, Dore, I can't even say that. Doragon. What else we got? I don't know. Cheers. Whoever's there, have a good day. Whoever's dropping in, dropping out, watching on the replay, whatever you do. Fucking cheers. For those that like but don't like, and those that want to comment but can't, whatever it is. YouTube psychosis. Cheers. Truth or therapy sessions? That could be worth it too. Whoops. Whoops. Alright, cheers. She's definitely getting sketch. I feel good. I'm good enough in there. Spliff skins. Breakfast that I had before has made me sleepy. That's just gonna sink in and go exactly to all the spots that I want it to. The good thing about being really skinny and doing training is it goes to exactly where it, like, yeah. That was 5:30. Hang on, wait, what? 20 hours. Narcissism and Society featuring at Truth Tiger. And there's 3 waiting. What the fuck? Shout out him. I forgot his name. Fuck, I always forget his name. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Notify me. Yep, legend. Understanding conspiracy. It's already got 95,000 subs. And they look like they're genuine subs too, because it's not a ridiculous number in the time that he's been around. UFOs. What's going on in the world? Anybody there? Hello? Hi. Hi. Take. You never do. Don't comment. Don't comment. Don't comment. Just go. Just comment. Just keep doing our thing. Keep doing our thing. Bless the good people, rebuke the others. Indeed. One watching. Let's make that too. Is it working? Fuck's sake. How's that 14 seconds behind? Just like that. Cool. It's working. It's working. That was a bit weird. A bit sketchy. Maybe I should have it closer. Mumbling. Trying to be quiet. Cancer Weekly Horoscope. Extreme close-up with Jezza. Oh yeah, of course, the one's me. What happened in the 420 community? Anything interesting? I don't know. I haven't watched anyone for ages. So, yeah, you kind of like have to come here and comment, and then I might go over to yours. Maybe. I don't know if I'm actually fucking required. Like, if I go onto the chats of people's lives anyway, it'll just be like, oh shit, Jez is here. Oh shit. You know? Oh fuck. This is low battery. Low dose. I shared this as a poster. I was like, wake up, boy, wake up. So you'd think people would come and hang out. It's like 9:15 on a Sunday. What are you all fucking doing? What are you all fucking doing? Let's get back to this. That was just the way out. 7Ks exactly. Might be like slightly more. But yeah. That is what I did. That is what I did in one go. One go. And I've seen these people actually as well. And then I came back around and I've seen them at the exact same spot. Well, not really. I mean, a different spot. But they had only gone like toot toot, and I'd gone toot. And they're like, oh, we bump into you again. And I'm like, yep. How's it going? Have a good night. And I went to my spot, and I'm pretty sure I saw them going out, maybe? I don't know. It could have been other people. I'm getting full-blown legs. Like, my legs is crazy now. I don't even think I've seen my legs. I think I like bypassed puberty or like something. Like, the last time I worked really hard, I don't even know. It was like out the farm or something. I might have a similar body to when I was out the farm. But I'm pretty sure I'm fitter. Pretty sure I'm actually fitter and stronger. Like now. But exhausted all the time. And in pain all the time. I want to go to sleep again. I'm just doing this live to see if anybody's out there. Anybody cares. about my situations, my multiple situations. Kind of screwed in some ways, not in some ways, but yeah. If you've been following on, you obviously fucking know. Yeah, still no contact from Mum, still no solution to if I'm staying here or not. Pretty much I'm not, from when I talked to Anna the other day. I just don't know how to deal with it, because I've set this place up well. With all my stuff, I got it in all the right kind of spots. I just needed to get like a few more things, and now I gotta like start all over again. My brain can't deal with it, with no friends or family to even talk to about it, or with, pretty much. So all I can do is pray. All I can do is walk and pray. And like, it's like, I don't know, it's some kind of like self-development with praying. And that's all I can do, because I don't. I could sit here and do nothing. Or I could go and walk and pray. Instead of sitting here, waiting for nothing to happen. There's no point in me contributing towards Anna in the backyard till I know what the fuck's going on. If I'm still going, I'll just do that again for nothing, and I'll just be like laughed at. And it's just fucked me up. My head's fucked up from it. And so I exhaust myself massively every day from the walks, and then just rest. Do these streams, watch a bit of YouTube, and that's it. That's it. I was lucky I just had that meal. I thank God that I saved that to now, which was like 6 eggs and the rest of the tuna. I opened the can of tuna that I had there, and I ate some of it last night with peanut butter, passed out, had my Valium, my one Valium, and then passed out. I was like, fuck this. I was crying, I was fucking upset. I did everything out there pretty much okay. I think I got a little bit upset. But I did my whole full gratitude and forgiveness thing for everyone. It takes a long time. Now, it gets longer. It's gotten longer. Anyway, did that. It was just perfect timing when I did it, because it was sort of interrupted before that and after that. But yeah, it was a good gap, just nice, chill. And it was cold. I had to keep jogging to like evaporate the sweat and stay warm. Like I took my other pair of gloves time though, so I had dry gloves for the way back, but the way back's only like a 40-something minute walk, but I can do it in like, I don't know, 20 to 25. So I just came back and yeah, fucking whatever. It was like half an hour if you go slow, I suppose. But I can get to other points in half an hour really quick. Anyway, we're a bit busy. Would have been busy during the day, and we'd be busy like fucking right now. In the whole day, because it's Sunday. So I'm just going to probably go back to sleep, rest for a bit, and then go later when I go. If I go, which I will go. I could go now, be the whole like friendly day person. I feel like I need a coffee though, and I can't function without a bunch of coffee and sugar. I've got just enough money to pretty much get some shit for like whatever it was, $5 or $6. And then I've officially got no money. I've just got that Coles card. And then I have to figure shit out. I'll be alright in the end. I just need to figure the shit out. It's just, yeah. Fuck knows. Anyway, there you go. I've still got that on. What a trip. Let's just... I guess rid of it quickly. God is perfect. Man is not. Man made whiskey. God made pot. Can't see it at the moment, but you know. You know what I said. Well, light it up and off. Holy shit, it doesn't. It's trippy. Oh, it's good, I think. I don't really get to see that when it's dark. I don't get any comments, man. Well, occasionally I get a comment. I have to scroll all the way down. Fuck, where's one was? Last? Yeah, I'm chilling. Becky. If it is Becky. If it is. Because I got paranoid about that. Sorry about that if I'm wrong about that. But, I don't know. What the hell was I say? 1:38 minutes. Which is... Shit, that's 2 hours and 10 minutes. Oh, enjoy the rewatch. Your rewatches. Just turn on notifications. Yeah, that's right. On that live 6 days ago. So I've pretty much just done a whole bunch of days by myself. I haven't done lives out there the last couple of days. The last couple of nights I've just walked really hardcore and had my breaks on my own. And it's kind of weird because these people were at a spot that I normally stop at. But then I was thinking, oh, I might go to that other spot. But then I didn't even do that either. Or that other spot. And I didn't even do that either. Or that other spot. Or that other spot. I didn't do either of those. I went to this other one. Anyway. I'm a confusing person. You never know where I'm gonna go. Or stop. It's different. I like doing different shit. Because then it's just different. I'll think of a different thing probably. It was sort of similar what I did. Anyway. Six days ago, I got a comment. Oh, hang on, there's another one. No? Yeah, Jamel Wong, 7 days ago. Looks awesome out there, Jezza. Cheers, Jamel Wong. $13 3 minutes to 9 a.m. Sunday, 10th of August. The Jezzaverse with Jezzalenko. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 1. Yeah, that's working. I think my bowel's still in me too. Like that breakfast. Got, I don't know. Had it before I went to bed, so it's like 12 hours ago. I don't know at what point to change it to half. That's scary. I should have said to the doctor, I should have just gone, can I get like a script of the 2 milligram ones? And just reduce it to that. Just like 5 to 2. Alright, that's what I might do then after this next lot. I'll just go 1 all the way till they're gone. Because he changed it actually. He went to like, it's still 1 a day, but I pick up like every 2 weeks. Like 14 or something. He wanted to make it like 1.5 every day. Like have extra ones, but like pick up every week. Like 10 per week. And I'm like, no, that doesn't even make sense. Like I want to get off them. I don't want them. I can't have them in my possession. You know? Anyway. Cheers to the rewatches and all that. I'm gonna have a snooze. Fucking tired. It's 9 a.m. I might get up in a few hours. See what I'm doing then. See if I've got any good news. Still waiting on good news, I guess. From a few different things. 3. I'd say 3 separate things. But anyway, you're not allowed to have expectations. But I thought you would, like with family. Contacts. Certain things that you've had. But anyway, what we can do is hope and pray and be thankful for what we have and forgive those that are nasty to us. That's all you can do. Alright, peace out. Stay focused on your mission. Do your thing, find your thing. Mine's walking. I've got lots of other things I'm really cool at as well. But I don't know if I can get back to them or keep them going. We'll see. All depends. All depends on a few different things. Maybe someone random. You know, it could be. So it's maybe 4, maybe 5 different things. I'm kind of, yeah. Yeah. Enjoy the rewatch. Legends. Let it go. Have a snooze. Peace out. Stay magical and stay toasted. Jezza out.